So here's something weird that's never happened to me before when I went to a movie. In the middle of the movie, I started noticing this weird speck that was on the screen. And at first I thought, is there just something wrong with the film? This is really weird. And then I realized it was moving. There was a bug crawling on the lens of the projector. I think that might be a first for me. Spectre is the latest James Bond movie, and it's directed by Sam Mendes, and it stars Daniel Craig. This one takes place right where Skyfall left off, so if you haven't seen Skyfall, a couple spoilers for the end of that movie. At the end of Skyfall, Judi Dench's version of M died, and was replaced by Ray Fiennes as the new M. But before she died, she left Bond one last message where she tells him that she is on to this evil organization known as Spectre, which ties together the villains from the past 3 films. So it's up to Bond to go off the grid and find out how to defeat Spectre. Now, first off, I gotta say that I am a James Bond fan. I've seen a good half of the movies. Now, I haven't seen all the James Bond movies. Yes, I know, I'm getting to them. But the ones I have seen, I've enjoyed a good amount of them. As for the Daniel Craig movies, I love Casino Royale and Skyfall. Quantum of Solace, no, not so much. Much like the movie, though, I'm just kind of going to ignore that movie. This movie does really try to ignore Quantum of Solace. They mention it a little bit, but it's like they're really trying to avoid that movie ever happened. They're like, oh, Spectre, it controlled Lachey and Silva and Green. That's pretty much exactly how it goes in the movie. Both Casino Royale and Skyfall both started out with great action sequences, and this one does too. It's a great chase scene where Bond is chasing down a member of Spectre, where we get introduced to the whole idea of Spectre right at the beginning. Great way to start the movie off. There's a lot of great still shots here and in all the action sequences, which is so fantastic to see. I love just the still shots of seeing them running and fighting. That's how action should be shot. Cinematography in this movie is excellent. Just the look of how they shot these action sequences. There's a part of the fight scene where Bond chases one of the bad guys into a helicopter, and the helicopter takes off, and it's flying in the air, going in circles over this huge crowd of people. And just the way they shot it, the intensity and the camera work in that scene is phenomenal. I loved every bit of these action sequences. The way Sam Mendes directs these action sequences and these characters in these scenes is really, really good. I want him to do more Bond movies because I was really getting into it. One of the best things about movies, for me at least, is when I can go sit in the theater and get so sucked into the movie that I kind of forget that I'm in a theater with other people, if you know what I mean by that. When a movie like Spectre can suck me into its world like that, that is a good action movie. Speaking of the characters, we got M and Q back in this movie, and M is now played by Ray Fiennes. And Ray Fiennes is a great actor. He's, of course, Voldemort in the Harry Potter films, but he's also in Red Dragon, and he's great here as well. And I like that they gave him a lot to do. He has this great banter with this one guy from the British government who's trying to shut down the whole 00 organization, saying, oh, 00 is old-fashioned and all this stuff. Yeah, I know, it's kind of the same plot of Mission Impossible 5, but it still works here really well. So, it didn't really bother me at all. Also, the character of Q, he gets out of the lab and actually starts to do stuff. He's not just there to give Bond gadgets, but he actually helps Bond figure out what Spectre is and how to find the guy that controls all of it. I like that they give these side characters something to do in this one, so they're not just, oh, they're the characters that either Bond reports to or gives Bond a couple weapons and he goes off on his way to fight and Q just disappears for the rest of the movie. Also, I like the banter between him and Q. It's much like the old Sean Connery movies. This banter where Bond's giving him some crap and Q's just taking it but giving a little bit back, and just the comedy there is really good. Q's hilarious in this movie, honestly. The new Bond girl in this is really cool too. She does a lot. She fights, helps Bond out of some bad situations, and also she actually has a good relationship with Bond. She's not just another generic hot girl who Bond has to save at the end or something. She actually does quite a bit to save Bond in this movie as well. The only character that really didn't have all that much to do is Moneypenny, and I guess they just wanted to focus more on the Bond girl. I totally understand, but it was kind of a shame that she's the only character that kind of gets sidelined in this movie. Now, one unfortunate problem with this movie is the villain. Don't get me wrong, he's not a weak Bond villain. He's just not quite as strong as Silva or Lachey from the other Craig movies, which is really unfortunate and kind of funny when you think about it, because he's supposed to be the head of Spectre, the one that Silva and Lachey were working for. This is the big guy, the big bad, but his motive isn't fully clear. It's like he knew Bond when they were kids or something. Two of the big problems with this villain is his motives aren't fully clear, and the fact that he doesn't do a whole lot. Lachey, his motives were perfectly clear and understandable even. Silva, he went and destroyed the first IMF building. But the villain in Spectre doesn't do a whole lot. Yeah, there's some stuff that's revealed that he was helping do at the end, which is pretty cool actually. So he's not a terrible villain or anything, and he does definitely go after Bond and hurt Bond, but not quite to the level of Silva or Lachey, and that's what I'm getting at. Just compared to the Bond villains of the other two Craig movies, he's just a little weak, and that was really unfortunate to see. Besides that weak point, the script itself is really good. The dynamic between Bond and the new Bond girl is really good. I actually wanted to see them get together legitimately by the end of the movie. They were great together. They worked well off each other. All these characters worked well off each other. The chemistry here is real, and I got sucked into the movie. And I love it when I can get sucked into a movie. It's not as good as Casino Royale or Skyfall, so if you're going in expecting Skyfall, you're going to be disappointed. But if you don't, and you just go in expecting a good, solid Bond movie, you should enjoy it. And I did enjoy it. And I'm going to give this movie 4.5 out of 5 stars. Guys, if you haven't seen Casino Royale or Skyfall, definitely see those movies before you see Spectre. You don't have to see Quantum of Solace. You won't be missing anything. It's a really dumb movie. But Spectre is a good movie, and you guys should totally check it out. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and like, comment, subscribe. See ya.